everybody, here we go. You are watching TSSZ Plus, and this is the premiere episode of TSSZ Plays. In theory, the whole Sonic Advance trilogy, but today, for right now, TSSZ Plays Sonic Advance. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Lou. We got a good one for you today, because we are finally digging our teeth into one of the most beloved series of Sonic games ever made. That is, of course, the Sonic Advance trilogy, released on the Game Boy Advance between 2001 and 2004, and here it comes right before your very eyes. Oh, bam! How are we all doing here, folks? It's been a while since we've joined each other here on stream. Here on TSSZ Plus, I am back. We are ready for some more gameplay action right here on TSSZ Plus, and right now it's going to be Sonic Advance, of course. The one that started it all on the Game Boy Advance when SEGA started moving third-party after the Dreamcast died. That would be 2001 and 2002. This game came out across all different regions, developed by Dimps, conceived by Sonic Team, and kicked off a very successful line of games on the Game Boy Advance, featuring our boy Sonic here. So let's get things started. 4 characters to choose from, of course, the classics, everyone you'd ever want to see in a classic game. Maybe that's not true. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. We'll kick things off with Sonic, of course, and get right into the action in Neo Green Hill Zone. We have so much to talk about with what this game offers, gameplay-wise, graphics-wise, so there's a lot to dig into. All things we'll talk about over the course of the stream here, naturally. But to start things off, a little bit of a rationale here for you. So we've wanted to play Sonic Advance and all of those games here on stream for a long time, and yet we never did. The reasoning for that being that I had hoped to do a retro review series on the Sonic Advance trilogy, like way back in the day. I've had those plans for years. Unfortunately, I adult very hard now, so it's tough to find the time to produce even quick, video content like that. So that all kind of got shelved, and once I realized I wasn't getting back to that project at all, we went ahead and decided to start the playthrough here on TSSZ Plus. So here we are. We have a lot to talk about regarding Sonic Advance because, believe it or not, we're not going to trash it right off the bat here, but my least favorite of the 3 Sonic Advance games that were released, for a multitude of reasons, that I will get into over the course of this. But for now, let's just appreciate the classic Sonic gameplay. Intact, beautiful, gorgeous gameplay right before your very eyeballs. Nice and colorful, all things considered. This was a pretty early title in the Game Boy Advance's library, coming out in late 2001 in Japan, 2002 pretty much everywhere else in the world. And with the Game Boy Advance just launching in 2001 in most of the world, it's pretty impressive looking for what you can think of as almost a launch title, or at least a launch year title, for Nintendo's big handheld successor to the Game Boy. I like this sort of running through trees piece here. We come up on our first boss fight here. Get back here, you. What could it be, I wonder? Something that's going to hit me right out of the gate, no doubt. Just like that. We'll get into some of the things that I'm not a huge fan of in Sonic Advance over the course of this. One is how stiff the game kind of feels, especially relative to the rest of the trilogy. Really not big on it, and the movement mechanics sort of make it difficult to maneuver around with any sort of fluidity in boss fights and in tight platforming sections. But that's a complaint for another part of the stream. We are clear already with Neo Green Hill Zone. A few more zones to go. Drop the hammer. Hammer time. We got so many comments here. Secret base. Look at those lighting effects. Already we got great looking graphical presentation coming out of this game. I love those effects. You see them in the intro, which we skipped with Robotnik holding onto the emerald, and now we're into Again, a pretty good-looking environment considering how early in the life cycle this game came out. LBD says that this game never came to the Wii U Virtual Console outside of Japan, was that system's biggest failing. That is true. It was only released on the Virtual Console in Japan for the Wii U, as well as only on Android smartphones in about 2011 in Japan. No other Android devices outside of the Land of the Rising Sun received this game, which is, again, kind of a shame, because I'd love to see these games especially get some sort of attention, because they don't see re-releases like you would expect from, you know, sort of the classic trilogy or more well-known Sonic games, which is a pity, because these are real quality productions, and the world is missing out on them. And the N-Gage, of course, that's right. We were going to go over what this game was actually released on. So there was, obviously, the original release on Game Boy Advance. There was a release in 2003 on the Nokia N-Gage, the joke of a console that was. And in 2011 on Android devices in Japan. There's a lot of talk going on in the chat, which I can't see immediately. I'll get to it after this zone. Of course, we got to get through Secret Base here. Not a long game, Sonic Advance. As you may know, I believe there's only 6 zones and 12 acts overall, not counting things like special stages. So if I was quick about it, something that, you know, I could potentially tear through tonight, but we're going to try to stretch this out a little bit more. I'd like to go for some emeralds as well. If we could do a complete emerald run of the entire trilogy, that would be nice. Oh, not good. So yeah, a lot of like little minute details about the original Advance here that actually kind of annoy me. One of which is how much worse the music sounds when you pick up those speed shoes. It sounds like it's just really sloppily sped up through the GBA, and it just doesn't sound as polished as the rest of the soundtrack does. Also, coincidentally or not, my least favorite soundtrack of all the Advance games. Not that it's bad, but definitely not one I come back to with any frequency. I'm really not a fan of this game's soundtrack. Aside from a couple tracks here and there, like Ice Mountain is a really good one from this one. Cosmic Angel's pretty cool. Boss fight again already. It's not too much to it here, huh? I don't remember how this one works, so I'm just going to kind of hope for the best, Mr. Springman here. Oh, where'd he go? There's no telling, except on top of me. And that's it. Easier, almost, than the first fight, which is interesting. You're doing the entire trilogy tonight? Oh, hell no. We are possibly making it through all the way through Advance 1 tonight, but not the whole trilogy. God, no. I have like an hour and a half here. Alright. So what are we talking about here? There was Sonic Advance Remastered revealed at Sage. Before we get into Casino Paradise here, let me read. So this is another thing that kind of bugs me. You can't back out to the main menu while you're playing the normal game. On Sonic Advance, you can quit out to the menu in like Time Attack, but not in the main game. Why? I shouldn't have to reset the console to go like play the Tiny Chow Garden, which we will do, by the way. We are going to spend some time in the Tiny Chow Garden here tonight. Kind of silly. Everyone's saying hello. What else do we got? He springed into action. Of course we did. That's how we do it. No questions asked. Maybe a few questions asked. Geez, getting the emeralds in these games. Not the simplest thing, as we have to admit sometimes. But that's okay. Back to the action here. Now we're kind of caught up. I do kind of like this track too. It has sort of almost like a saxophone-y casino jazz lounge vibe, which makes sense. I like the fireworks going off in the background. Neat sort of simple use of the common casino motif. Lots of weird stuff going on here. spells out SEGA. I don't know what that castle thing is supposed to be in the background. Is that the casino? Is that just, you know, some fancy palace overlooking Sonic as he gets sprung to his death? Yeah, I mean, listen to that. The speed shoes really make the music sound like a mess. Part of it might be the synth that they use. Part of it, you know, is just how it's sped up. I don't know, but definitely doesn't sound good. One other thing that I noticed that's kind of interesting about Advance is how Sonic's main speed is sort of curbed a little bit on foot, so if you don't curl up into a ball or you don't hit boost pad, you really can't hit max speed. It's a lot like the original Sonic on Genesis in that regard, which I've always found sort of an interesting choice. Obviously resolved in Sonic Advances 2 and 3, but sort of an interesting quirk in the original game. So where to now? These are some neat flowers, kind of echoing back to that's just mean. Almost harkening back to a casino-fied design of the flowers in Green Hill or something like that. Of course, this game primarily developed by Dimps. Fun fact, actually, Dimps' first game, and was formed as a development studio to work on Sonic Advance because Sonic Team did not have the manpower to create the game that they sort of charted out and wanted to make, so they handed it off to Dimps. On to Act 2 here. Can we all thank SEGA that this franchise has not taken the loot box route yet? I believe there is some thanks to be had there, now that you mention it. Nice set of balloons there. See, there you go. So that was his main running speed. Not super fast, honestly. A little unimpressive. Glad they sort of resolved that in future entries. So we're just going to kind of try to bypass this. Nice warp quick. So what are your memories of Sonic Advance is one of the questions that I would be asking throughout the stream here. Obviously, you know, a relatively old game as these things go. Kind of as old as the Game Boy Advance is, more or less. So that means that a lot of you out there probably have pretty fond memories of it. What are some of them? I actually never had Sonic Advance 1 when I was growing up. I didn't have it as a Sonic game on my console. I did have Advance 2 and 3, but not this one. Kind of focus on the fight here. Nice smooth animations that obviously got a lot better with other games in the series as it progressed. The graphics got more advanced, fancier, of course. That's what you would expect. Would hope the graphics don't get worse. Especially with regard to the background effects. I think the zones and the techniques got a lot more interesting as the series progressed, for the most part. That's already 3 down, and we've been playing this for like 20 minutes. So keep sharing those stories of your experience with Sonic Advance, maybe the entire trilogy while we're talking about it. On to Ice Mountain, maybe my favorite piece of music in the game. Into the Snow. You gotta love Sonic games with gimmicks that make him slower. Like, the whole level is, or one of the main gimmicks is built around slowing him down. So see, you gotta curl up into a ball to get that max speed, and that just flies you into spikes. A lot of the unfair Dimps level design will be in full force, I have no doubt about that. So see, just with his base running speed, you're barely able to get up that hill, sort of Sort of interesting. A pretty level, though. Sonic Advance really killing it with the snow levels. Twinkle Snow and Sonic Advance 3, one of my favorites. Ice Mountain, probably my favorite overall piece of music in the game. And of course, the underwater bits. The springs that just launch you into oblivion from underwater. Why not? Did not know he fired something there. It's rude. That's also rude. This is, I guess, where the level design just starts to get rude on you, huh? Gotta curl up these things in Sonic Advance. That's how you keep your speed going. One annoying thing, you get stuck on springs like this, you know, I would prefer, and I mean, this isn't the only Sonic game to do this, but I would much prefer if I just, like, jumped on the top of the spring that it just worked. I didn't have to, one, actually hit the part of the spring that, you know, you see what I'm saying? Just let me jump on it, basically. Really feel sort of throttled back in these underwater sections, like something is holding the GBA back. You gotta constrain all that power! So much power. And we are out of here. And look at him just take off. That's pretty fun. Lots of memories here coming through on the chat. Keep them coming if you got more. See, not enough juice from a standstill to clear 2 spikes in a row. Too bad. Because I hope I don't hit anything. We do not. Do I need the air bubble? Let's hope I don't. Got it anyway. It even really slows his animations down underwater, which I suppose also is not unique to this game, but a nice touch. Never understood. You have like those 2 springs in a row that just sort of bounce you back and forth. Why? In like Sonic CD, I would get it. You gotta go to the past or the future or whatever. It's an easy way to maintain your speed. It's annoying when you see it coming too, when you're going slow and you can't avoid whatever's coming up and you just know it's going to happen. Here's our first invincibility. Pretty straightforward remix of that classic invincibility theme from the first game. Not a huge fan of the synth that the GBA uses for those. No, we're probably gonna die here. Unless... No! I was so close! No, of course! Alright, but we're okay. Oh, I could've just... I can't control him here, that's great. So when you make that jump out of a spin dash, and I don't know if I hit the wall or if I hit what there, but I couldn't control him and he went off to his death. Yeah, so you're curled up into a ball, you spin dash, you jump. I guess you maybe can't control him in the air. That's fun in a platformer, right? You're gonna see a bunch of those Dimps bottomless pits. Classic. Classic stuff. Is there anything here? Did I miss it? No. And yes, of course, happy birthday to the Genesis. We're going to mention in the headlines at break time. Reviews and hands-on previews going out of the Genesis Mini, and so far it looks like thorough enjoyment from all involved. Big thumbs up from most press outlets, which is great. Not today. So the tricky part here is just... Okay, so those do hurt. Keeping your air filled. Didn't want to do that. Having a little trouble with this one. Looks like some of them fall at different speeds too, so it's tough to... It's that sort of trick thing. Jump there. Working on it here, folks. Promise you that. Nice. Ah, so close. Almost there. Looks like we're almost there. Oh, that's just rude. That is rude. Get him. Get him! Oh, come on. Through the ring, too. Get... Jump is nice and responsive. That's always a good thing. Oh, no! Alright, we're good. Ooh, that was close. Oh, God. Oh, this is really annoying, actually. I don't like this fight at all. We got him, finally. Jesus. Alright, few close calls, though. Would have had it if you insta-shield. Yeah, well, you know, that would mean I'm good at this. Don't go there. 4x down! Oof! We're like more than halfway through the game already. This is nuts! Over to Angel Island Zone, and... onward we go. Another pretty zone here, and one that I think really ramps up the death traps. So we gotta be careful. I think that's a Donnie in the chat. Hello. Gotta leap of faith a little bit here. And we're right back to the beginning, huh? Not unconvinced that that's not just going to careen me off the edge here. You never know. With the Dimps games in particular, there's death hanging out around every corner. So for those of you not seeing the Sonic Paradox post, remember we stream on Twitch and YouTube, and see there's your famous Dimps pit right there. So keep an eye on that chat, on the chat box, actually in the stream itself, for people chiming in from both platforms. Oh, through the air we go. Not the last time we'll see something like that. In an advanced game, that effect will return. Some appreciation for returning to Angel Island. Gotta love it. Like, literally, you have to. I think it's canon law. A pretty zone as well, you know. Nice music. Feels a little more sort of light and airy than a lot of the zones that preceded it, so it does a good job regarding that. You see little gimmicky things like this all the time in Sonic games. Grab that shield. Future Sonic Advance games will fix the sort of shield and spring behavior, which is definitely appreciated as far as I'm concerned. I gotta go pull up my script for what was supposed to be my retro review of these, because I have so many really in-depth thoughts about the like nitty-gritty details, especially of Advance 1 and Advance 2, that will be tough to, you know, just yank out of my brain when I'm trying to play this. A grind rail, as you saw there, really underutilized in Advance 1 that later Advance games will much more heavily take advantage of. Gotta watch it. You just know that there's... all of this is just over a pit. You just know it. Get us out of here. LBD, how awesome would it have been if Sega and Nintendo had released an original GBA that was styled after the Game Gear and came with this game? That would have been pretty cool. And we're dead already. See, this is why, for everything that they do right, you can just scream to no end about some of the nitty-gritty stuff in the Dimps games. At least I do. I don't know if you feel the same way. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Dimps Falls. That's kind of a fun way to refer to it. You go careening over the Dimps Falls. That's about right. You little... Ugh. Well, it's kind of cheating, but that counts. Gotta grab those checkpoints. You never know when death approaches. And are we, like, almost done with this? There's Egg, Rocket, and Cosmic Angel after this, I think. Is that all? Oh, I did the... So if you double tap a direction you're facing in the air, you do that. And I did that instead of grabbing onto that rail thing I wanted to get onto, and that killed me because from here on out the level design goes to hell, so that's gonna be fun. There we go. He just kind of shimmies along. I wish that was how it worked in real life. Here we go. Famous S-bends. Get back here. Does that actually give you any more forward momentum? I'm not sure that it does. Like, I don't think you can use it to make a jump that you would otherwise just, like, barely miss. And grind, I'm told. Is that an easier way to queue grinding up? I'm not sure, because there's, like, 3 grind rails I've seen in the game so far. Interesting place for invincibility. I'm always just barely missing jumps in this one because the controls are so stiff. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, especially relative to something like Advance 3, but Advance 1 is really stiff. Rare foil. Dimps gets a lot of flack, a lot of it undeserved, a lot kind of warranted. Yeah, I mean, they've made overall a lot of great games that contributed to the legacy of Sonic in really positive ways, but there's also like sort of nitpicky game design details that make a lot of the like moment-to-moment stuff in their games just like hella annoying, like super way too annoying, please stop. Which is unfortunate, but that's, you know, how it goes sometimes. I will never complain, though, because Sonic Advance 3 and Sonic Rush Adventure are among my absolute favorite Sonic games in the whole series. Come at me, bro. Nothing you can do about it. We have our first special stage, alright. So, this is the interesting part. There are special stage springs hidden all throughout the levels here. And that's the only way you gain access to the special stages, which, as you can see, are... there's some kind of... maybe that move that lets me grab all those rings at once. Okay. This isometric perspective is really hard to work with. if I recall correctly, this game's caught a lot of flack over the years for these special stages, and rightfully so, because that special stage won, and that was bonkers. And then he falls to his death. And that's what's going to make an all-emerald run of at least Sonic Advance annoying as balls. So I might be second-guessing that. Can I go do it again? Nope. So say what you will about how this is how the special stages are sort of constructed and laid out in advance. It's hard not to argue that it's just a really suboptimal way to do it. There's, you know, you gotta hunt down those... Uh-oh. This is Metal Knuckles? What's going on here? Get out of here. He's apparently invulnerable when he's flying. That's a good one. But yeah, I think I want to talk more specifically about the special stages. Maybe going into break, because it's really hard to form coherent thoughts and play, as many of you know. Oh, there's a... It's just all missiles! Launch missiles at me. And we're dead! Good! Let's try that again. I don't want to have to do all of Angel Island over again, but I forget if 0 counts as a life. Guess we're about to find out. She could collect my rings for me, that would be nice. God. I really wish the controls would be just a little bit looser. I'm dead already. Alright, so we do have one more life here before we get thrown back. Gotta do the whole thing again. Alright, let's see. Alright. Bring it on, bro. You kind of just have to work out through trial and error when he's invincible and when he's not. So we're just going to fail this. And that is game over, so not as short a playthrough maybe as we once thought. So that maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know. So we'll have to do all of Angel Island over again, but that's okay. While it kicks us back to the main menu here, we will talk those special stages real briefly. So really, I mean, it's a creative sort of presentation attempt in that sort of tunnel that you're just flying down, the 3D tunnel. Really tough to gauge perspective, which is not ideal because you it's really tough. It's tough to line yourself off properly, get all those rings. You know, I failed the first time through. It's really difficult, and probably the weakest of all of the special stages in the Sonic Advance trilogy. Possibly, you know, you look at the broader scope of special stages in Sonic games, and that's got to be in the bottom tier for sure. Also, not a fan of how you get to the special stage. You have to go seek out the specific springs in each stage that let you go try the special stage once per... I don't know if there's multiple springs per act, but you only get that spring once, and you have to either come back to that level later or finish and die or whatever. But kind of drags out the process of trying it over and over again. Not as bad as some, like I know in Sonic Advance 2, for example, you have to collect all 7 of those like special gold rings in a row, doing a very specific run through of the stage before you can try the special stage again, I think, which is not ideal, but at least that one's a little better in terms of the actual stage itself. So right now is, I think, a good time to take a break. We will do trivia time. There is a giveaway. This one's a US and Canada only giveaway. Sorry in advance. But we got trivia time coming back. We got some viewer polls. We got some headlines for you. We'll keep you busy. This is TSSZ Plus, and you are watching the premiere episode of TSSZ Plays Sonic Advance. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. You are watching TSSZ Plus, and this is the premiere of TSSZ Plays Sonic Advance. The trivia time question this time around: which characters cannot grind in Sonic Advance? A Sonic Mania Adventures poster up for grabs in the US and Canada only, and the answer is Tails and Knuckles, the two characters that cannot grind, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You add in a really core game mechanic and only certain characters can do, I don't know, whatever. Two of you got it right. We drew straws during the break, and LBD Night Train, I hope I pronounced that correctly, you are the winner of the Sonic Mania Adventures poster. We've posted about it a bunch. I don't have one in front of me. You probably know what it looks like. DM us on Twitter at TSSZ News within 24 hours, and give us your full mailing address, name, wherever we're shipping it to. Again, continental US and Canada only, so I hope you live somewhere there. And we will get that out to you probably like tomorrow. I'm going to try to be a little more prompt with how quickly we send out the goodies. Again, LBD Night Train, the winner of the Trivia Time giveaway. Tails and Knuckles cannot grind in Sonic Advance. Our more Canadian friends. Good. Gotta go through customs. That's okay. All right. Back to the game here now. We got to return to Angel Island Zone. Do I have to replay the whole thing, or can I start from Act 2? I can start from Act 2. That's great. I will take that. All right. Dude. Did I smell something? Something smells weird up in here. I think I'm getting a whiff of something in particular. Yeah, it's smells a lot like some bullshit. Ooh, level design reeks in here, man. Ew. That was just stupid. We're gonna try a little harder here, folks. After this unskippable stream of logos. Away we go. Let's give that another try, shall we? Always great to open your game with nice, easy, bottomless pit, right? Sonic Prower on YouTube. It's best not to spin dash in the beginning of Act 2. Quality. Quality stuff right there. Again, you should be able to see our YouTube friends. If you're paying attention to the in-stream chat, that should have everyone join together like the big happy streaming family we are. I'm just gonna cheat my way through that part. It seems like almost the obvious way to do it. Unless you're really trying not to get hit, why wouldn't you just take the L on that one and get through a little faster? I don't know. Throwing ideas out there, man. I'm an idea guy. I go to work, I do ideas. That's how it works at work. I don't know. Ugh. Appreciably tougher than the 4 zones that preceded. Not sure if that's good or bad for the difficulty spike overall. Ugh. Just a lot of curiously placed power-ups here and there. Rare foil, but if you skip the logos, then how would you know that Sonic Team totally made this game all on their own? Yeah, they totally did. They didn't have to make an entirely new studio to make the game? Absolutely not. Night Train, impromptu poll, drop dash or insta shield. Well, I have a definite winner there, but I'll let chat get their opinions out first, and then I'll opine, as you ostensibly pay me to do, because that's what I do when I host a stream. I don't know. Do you come here for objectivity, or do you come here for... How am I supposed to do this? How did I do this before? You always just barely miss jumps, or you barely can't get over obstacles. It's just... Gotta properly predict when the spikes are going down, I guess. There we go. No! Ugh, I knew it! I knew this! This is the worst! How did I do this flawlessly last time? Ugh, okay. And we're not in a pit! That's great! I was totally expecting to just be in a pit there. No special stage attempt, I don't think, but that's fine by me. Just want to be prepared for the Metal Knuckles fight, and here we are. Let's see what we can do. Take a little slower this time. Ooh. Your boy's getting smart on me. Here we go. Jeez, he is like straight into this, huh? Vomiting missiles. Just insane. What is it, like 4 hits this time? Quit vomiting missiles at me, bro! How many can he just vomit forever? So is it jumping out of a spin dash where you can't... I think. Hold on, I'm testing something. I don't know. There's some weird quirk with like jumping out of a spin dash or hitting something as you're going up in your jump arc that makes Sonic uncontrollable until he hits the ground, which is not so nice. Yeah, so it's 4 and 4. Alright, this is gonna be tough. Or I can just clear it flawlessly on, like, the first go. That's amazing. How does he do it? You never know what you're gonna get here on TSSZ Plus sometimes. We are out of Angel Island Zone. That's funny. Alright, so it looks like everyone's sort of in favor of the Insta-Shield. I do like the Insta-Shield, but in terms of like the general flow of a game, if I am given the choice, I'm going with Drop Dash, no questions asked. I think I prefer being able to keep my momentum going as opposed to getting that temporary invincibility to hit something or get an extra opportunity to. Egg Rocket Zone really interesting because if you're paying attention, you'll notice the timer counts down from 5 minutes instead of up from 0, which is a little bit different. And kind of neat if you notice it. It's sort of a fun race against the clock. Not sure that too many other Sonic games do this first try yet. Off the top of your head, chat, can you think of any other Sonic games that immediately have countdown timers instead of just the normal score clock? Aside from, like, a bonus, like, extra boss or something like that. Get some momentum here. And it's interesting, too, because you never know, as with a lot of the stages like this, you don't know how much time you actually need, because you have no idea how long the stage is. And see, you have stuff like that happen, where now I'm basically back at the beginning of the stage, and I have to sort of crawl my way back up here. which is tough to deal with in a stage like this, so you gotta hope that you can now clear it in like 3 minutes instead of 5. How much higher can I go? That's about as high as we're going. I love how he just kind of like fidgets around on this thing and it counts as him moving. That's nice. Alright, let's try not to fall again. Take the hit just so I know what I'm doing here. Pressure's on, folks. Will he do it? Will he get it done in time? No one knows. That's what makes it interesting. Gotta make those jumps. Gotta make those big jumps. Oop. We've got a lot of talk going on in the chat. I want to address it all as soon as I can take a breath from this. Oh, I really thought I had that. Okay. We're at 1:45 to go. Like, I jumped just from a standstill and I barely made that. Rip rings, yeah. That's what happens sometimes, you know? Alright, and we are out of here, I guess, with 1.5 minutes to spare, and the whole level just tears itself away. Or is there more? Now the timer resets, and we continue. That's fair. There's the yellow rings versus, or the springs versus the red springs. Was never really sure what difference that made. If it made a difference. Go. And we're dead, right? Of course we're dead! This is a Dimps game. How far back? Okay. That's always the question you gotta ask in these kinds of games, isn't it? How far back? That was risky. I can't... Oh, it's so... It's really hard to describe, especially if you haven't played it, but... Advance 1 feels really sort of like restrictive and almost just tough to control. I'm trying to come up with a good way to describe it. Just the left-right movement from a standstill is like I'm just smacking the control stick or the D-pad or whatever you play it on as far as I can to the left or right. So I'm just like begging him to speed up a little bit. It kills you. Alright, that's rude. Crap flying at you from... Oh, boy. Out of nowhere. Does this do anything for me? It might. Great. Gotta love the enemy placement here, too, sometimes. Just, like, tailor-made to make it as annoying as possible. Or so it feels sometimes. Am I taking it too personally? I'm probably taking it too personally. So, yeah, that doesn't give you a whole lot of wiggle room there, does it? Oh, we missed. Let's just keep going. And that got me nowhere. You gotta spin dash up these things. Oh my god, physics are a little grody. It's all things that I just sort of notice in the moment. That's tough to explain. But I think that is my biggest problem with Advance 1. It feels so stiff and restrictive on how you can actually move and how quickly you can sort of get up to speed and make those precise jumps that it just is such a pain in the ass. and is my least favorite of the three for that reason, because 2 and 3 just feel a lot more fluid than this one does. I mean, you had to start somewhere, right? And it's not, you know, unplayable or anything, but and the speed shoes do make it a little better. That's really rude. Just the speed booster clearly placed out in the middle of nowhere that sent you all the way back like this. You should expect it once you get this late in the game. You're playing with the big boys now. What the hell do you think this is? Oof. Here now. And someone commented about this track being really good. You are right. It's a solid piece of music for sure. There's no hope of getting over that. Like, from a standstill right next to the spring, you can't get over it, which is kind of a problem. Oh, God. There's so much to sort of really nitpick and get down and dirty with in the advanced trilogy, because there's so many interesting changes between titles in the series. It's really fun to give me a break here to go into detail about it all. Oh God, it's one of those games where I never really feel like I'm super in control of it. It's so hard to wrangle with, and we're all the way back to the beginning. That's how it goes, I guess. Out of lives. Let's see how we do. There's so much chat I need to catch up on too, but I'm trying to play the game. See, if you jump and try to reposition yourself with that double tap, he ends up doing that side flip, I don't know what you call it. Sometimes you miss your jump. Not again! Oh God! Oh, da 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 da. I wonder who made this game. Let's look at the unskippable logos and find out who made this game, guys. All right, let's see what's going on in chat here. We confirmed what the red and yellow springs do. Let's see. Royfoil said this song is the best song in the game, possibly the trilogy. You haven't played 3 yet. Okay, so I'm just going to throw down now, and we'll get into it like way later. Sonic Advance 3 not only has the best soundtrack of any of the Advance games, it has the best soundtrack of... It's one of the best soundtracks in the Sonic series. Come at me. We'll argue about that at a later date. For now, though, we got to do this again. It is a neat, stressful idea for a level, so I do appreciate it, so I don't get too frustrated with it, but a little bit, you know. It happens sometimes, that's okay. Stock up on rings. Nice. Alright, here we go. Down into the pits of whatever the hell this ship is. Gotta get out of here. Oh, that's good. Well, we're gonna put ourselves at a disadvantage right off the bat, because that's how this works. Didn't have any problem with that before. Now we do. There we go. Right like that. There we go. Zoom. kind of annoying that you can land on top of the springs and not just automatically jump on them, which is... whatever. There's so many jumps you miss because of this. Terrible, honestly terrible jump radius from a standstill. That's really the crux of my issue with Sonic Advance's design. It's that just pitiful jump arc from a standstill that makes it a little more frustrating, at least for me. That's super subjective. You might feel differently, and I know a lot of you in chat do. Away we go. So the quote-unquote insta-shield is actually referred to as a spin attack in the advanced manual, which is interesting. So there you go. Use the proper terminology. Guess where that spring was. Good guess, self. Is there anything over here? Yes, there is. It's interesting how most of the challenge in this stage doesn't come from the enemies, it's actually just traversing the stage itself, which is a nice sort of break from the normal difficulty curve of just like more enemies in your way in less convenient places, you know what I mean? So that's kind of nice. This way, and we took a big shortcut there. I remember bouncing off of that stuff. Metropolis Zone style. We've got our extra life back, so I guess we're doing alright this time. A full minute ahead of where we were last time, so doing better now. Let's keep it going. Oh my god, that was just from a walking standstill. You can't get up there. Have I complained enough about how slow I think Advance 1 is? And now you might think that, oh, well, he's gonna like drool all over Advance 2. That's not true either, because I have a lot of issues with Advance 2 as well. Though I do generally think overall it's the better package. Maybe that's not necessarily true. I think... and I could do like a whole... honestly, a whole stream just comparing the three games, which we will do at some point, I'm sure. Advance 2 is more of like a 2 steps forward and 2 steps back sort of game compared to this one, where it fixes a lot of stuff that's wrong with... like, what is going on with that? It fixes a lot of stuff that I perceive as wrong with Advance 1, but it also introduces a lot of weird quirks and issues of its own, so it's interesting. It's just another opportunity to hit 100 rings, maybe. Sonic Locks and the 3 Advance games. Yeah, maybe. Like, you just kind of have to know to stop there. Oh, no! Like that! That's fun, right? Oh, man. Alright, well, this is just going to be one of those stages where you end up fighting the game a little bit more than playing it to make your way through it. I don't recall, so I remember getting a lot of footage for Advance 1 for the retro review I never made a few years ago, and I don't recall Egg Rocket being nearly this frustrating, which is interesting. Can I just hit that? I cannot, so I just kind of have to hope. Or can I... oh, there's something over here! I could have been just playing the level the whole time and dying anyway, and that's totally fine. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to give it one more run through here before we visit our friends in the Tiny Chow Garden and call it a night here. So we're going to give Egg Rocket one more go and see what happens. And you know what's interesting, which is an assessment I never really agreed with? A lot of people, at least that I've sort of heard talk about the Advance games, complain more about Advance 3's controls than Advance 1, which kind of blows my mind, because I feel like Advance 3 is a lot more fluid, and I know there's some other weird quirks with how that game handles its jump arcs and things like that, but... thought that was kind of interesting. Some people in the chat are saying like they've never had a problem with Advance 1's controls, and that's, I mean, more power to you, but... Wish I could say the same. You gotta just go back down. It is quirky though, especially like with the momentum stuff in this game. You can't get up to full speed just running flat on the ground, I don't think. You either have to use a spring, well, actually use a boost pad, or use a spin dash and get some momentum off of hills or things. You can't hit full speed just by running flat on your feet, which is, again, very reminiscent of Sonic 1, but generally not the accepted sort of, you know, way Sonic games have typically done it. At least in the years that followed. One thing I will give Advance 1 credit for is, because of sort of how it's built, you sort of are more encouraged to take your time a little bit, explore the stages, see your environments and sort of take them in a little more closely, which is good, and in direct contrast to something like Sonic Advance 2, which is literally just like run for your life for, you know, 3 minutes at a time of the game. So a lot of it, you know, kind of depends on your preference and what you would rather have out of your Sonic game. If you're a little more exploration-y and a little more sort of let's check things out at my own pace, then Advance 1 is more up your speed, up your alley, up your speed. It's a little more your speed, a little more up your alley. If you just want to go fast, then that's what Sonic Advance 2 is for. And if you like some kind of mixture of the two, then I think Advance 3 does that really well. We gotta hit the spring just right. And we do, thankfully. What are we talking about here? I don't know what's over there. That platform to the right, and I don't intend to find out. Just thought you'd like to know that. Oh, just his invincibility ran out too, but we got the extra life. It's going to be really helpful for us doing this, and let's keep it moving. We got to get more speed to get over these spikes. Can't do it from a standstill. Are we talking about the OKKO appearance of Sonic? Only caught it briefly. Seemed interesting. Really, I love that Sega's willing to take risks with the franchise like that and put it in different contexts and do weird things. So I'm sure it didn't tickle everyone's fancy, but it certainly seemed interesting from my perspective. Do I get an extra life if I get 200 rings? That's a question I'd like to know. Night Train has a good point. Reminded me of Lego Dimensions in that risky way. Yeah, I suppose that's accurate, right? Oh, got it! Okay. Finally got that jumped out. And immediately into death, so who cares? Don't even worry about it! Who's even concerned about it? Are you? I'm not. Why would I be concerned? Why would I be concerned about it? That gets me every time, too. Like, every time. Back at it again. No worries, no fears, no holds barred. We got this. 100% got this. Here's my spring. Nailed it. Got it. Nailed it. Got it. Nailed it. We are good. We are good to go this time. Finally. keep it moving here. No more pits for old Sonic for the time being. Does that sound fair to everybody? Are we cool with that game? Got it. All right. I'm kind of trying to focus up here. That's really nice. I love when springs just throw you into enemies you can't possibly see coming. That's not difficulty, by the way. For any of you like out there making fan games, thinking about like, oh, how am I going to make this level tougher? Don't do that. 'Cause that's not difficulty. That's being a jerk. Just saying. Can I get an amen? Can I get like a hashtag bless up emoji in the chat? Somebody back me up here. Can't be the only one that thinks this way. How is this jump so ridiculous? Like, what am I doing wrong here that spring always sends me into those spikes? There we go. Oh my god. This is nuts. Is there a boss on this? I don't know if there's a boss for this or not. I am in no mood to boss fight, I will tell you that right now. No! Oh, no rings. All the way back to the beginning. And finally, I keep remembering I have the insta-shield. I start trying to use the insta-shield. No, sir. No, sir. Not on that guy. Spikes means no insta-shield for you. I'm making this stage a lot more boring. Come on, man! We're gonna flub this again. Please tell me there's no boss. That's what's gonna kill me here. I'm gonna get to the boss, I'm gonna have no idea what I'm doing. I'm on my last life, and I'm just gonna tank it. I hate this part. I hate it so much. I'm really gonna focus up here. See if I can actually make this happen, or if I'm gonna bottom out like a scrub. So most of it I'm okay with, but there's those one or two awkward little bits that get me every time. And this, again, just I want to point out that you cannot jump over that from a standstill standing next to it, which I just think is hilarious. There we go. That was a lot smoother. Making progress, I think. Getting better. See, I'm not totally incompetent, just a little slow sometimes. It's down here. We're taking a totally different route now. I'm not sure what's going to happen. That's interesting. Just in the running animation. Nope, not today, Diamond Boys. I learned my lesson. Please tell me we're almost done. Please tell me we're almost done. Get me out of this thing. Alright. Is there a boss fight is the question. If not, we're through this. We can move on to bigger and better things. Is that it? I like, he's catching his breath. He's like, whew, we made it. There's a third part? Oh my god! Fuck. Kill me. Kill me, man. But now at least we're in space. And running, and running, and running. Boost, 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 boost! Yep. Looks about right. There is no boss fight. Okay. So we just have to survive. There is no boss fight in Act 1. I mean, you never know. We're doing the gravity switching thing. That's great. I wouldn't put it past this game to just, like, throw a mini-boss at me. Even though there wasn't one. Oh, what's the penalty on that one? All the way back. Nice. At least I'm invincible. Okay. Oh, Jesus! God. Oh, there we go. Made it. Speed shoes. Now that's a really powerful ring. Or spring, whatever the hell. I don't even know what things are now. That's where we're at with this. Give me something. 5. Oh man, the music sounds so bad when it's sped up like this. It really does. I'm sorry. I didn't ask for this, but we're okay. Just get me the hell. Oh my god, get me the hell out of here, please. How many spikes in one row do we need? Just please, for God's sake. No more. No more egg rocket. I didn't want it. I never wanted it. Just gonna do this forever. Nice. Oh my god, are we done? Are we out of here? Please tell me we're out of here. That was way more ridiculous than it should have been. Cosmic Angel Zone, we are finally here, folks, approaching the end of the game. We'll give it a run until I lose a life, which will be soon. I missed a bunch of stuff. It's not so Night Train has properly chastised me for calling it an insta-shield and thinking it does something when it doesn't. I've learned my lesson. Sonic Prower on YouTube, you're making this level a lot more difficult than usual. What would you like me to do? I'll just immediately get better. That's problem solved. I realize the answer is actually suck less, but that's not always an option, you know. This I really like in terms of the presentation. This is a very colorful, very active zone. It's a lot of fun to look at least. Oh my god. So they really get a lot of mileage. This series gets a lot of mileage out of that gravity switching gimmick. Just bumping into everything. Now watch me, like, clear this, like, totally fine on my first try. You get really bogged down in the minutiae of those levels. At least I do sometimes. You ever just, like, you hit parts of a stage and you know what's coming up, you know exactly what you need to do, but you can never fully execute it on it for whatever reason? That's me a lot of the time. And it's kind of annoying. You don't get any better at games as you get older, we'll put it that way. I always love boss fights where your rings fall through the floor. That's good. Yeah, well, that was that. I think we knew how that was going to go. Night Train, I wasn't trying to chastise. It's okay. I wasn't yelling at you. I am sorry. Practice makes perfect. That is true. The emoji-only posts don't show up on screen. I did change how the chat displays, so that's entirely possible. I will look at that between now and next week. But I think, before we take off here for the evening, there is something cool that we need to do. And that is, of course, the Tiny Chow Garden. Who doesn't love a good Tiny Chow Garden? So, I think this is in Advance 1 and 2, and they took it out of 3. You can raise your own little chows, hatch your eggs. There he is. Look at mine in. Pet your chow, be all nice. You can play your little chow games here. Is it supposed to be like a memory match? Does he mix things up? I wasn't paying attention at all, so that's not going to happen. Is it a garden for tiny chow, or is the chow garden itself tiny? Well, I'm guessing since you're on the Game Boy, it's supposed to be tiny. Alright, how do I actually do this? Alright. Is that actually what I'm supposed to do? Sounds like it's yelling at me. Like, oh, you did it wrong. Alright. Is it rock? Oh, it's rock, paper, scissors. I thought it was matching the color. I'm smart. Okay. Nice. Okay, I get it now. Man, your boy is not smart, is he? That's okay. I always contend that, or my excuse for this anyway, is you usually catch these when I come home from work, which is often like 9-10 hour days for me. So I'm not always the most clear-headed when I do these. Such is life sometimes. Alright. So, I know you can like, yeah, you can feed the chow, you can give them little toys to play with. The trumpet is adorable, if I remember correctly. Not making a version of Chow Garden for mobile that interacts with newer games has to be the biggest ball that SEGA has ever dropped. You're probably right about that. So if I remember correctly, couldn't the Tiny Chow Gardens like hook up to Sonic Adventure 2 in some way on the GameCube, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? I don't recall 100%. I'm already in the store, my buddy. How about we give you a nice blueberry thingy? Are you gonna eat it? Is it something you eat? I think it's just stuff. And I think it correlates to how many... It was Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Gotta do the lawn, do some gardening while you're playing your Tiny Chow Garden. I guess he eats when he's hungry. I don't know if he... Aww. I gotta get more details on the Tiny Chow Garden. We're gonna give it more emphasis next time. Let's play one of these little mini games. This the match game here. I remember where a couple of them are. That's it. Quick way to like farm rings or whatever. I didn't see the rest of this, so I'm just guessing now. Find something I've seen already, and I did. So that's good. There's my lollipops. Banana was here. Orange was maybe here. Got it. Oh, we're gonna get it on the first go here. Nice. 2 mistakes, but we are done there. So that's 38 rings. Gotta feed our buddy here. It's so funny. It is a really fun little inclusion aside from the main game. It's almost like a whole little miniature adventure world game in itself to play around with Tiny Chow Garden, so we're going to give that a little more emphasis next time. And I think that's going to wrap up the stream for tonight. So, thank you all so much for tuning in, both our Twitch and our YouTube friends. Remember, we do stream on both. So wherever you feel more comfortable watching is where we want you to consume your TSSZ Plus. So make sure you do so. We will be back I believe next Wednesday or Thursday to play more Sonic Advance, try to round out the game, try to go for some of those special stages, and spend more time in the Tiny Chow Garden. So lots more to see as we continue our playthrough of the Sonic Advance trilogy right here on TSSZ Plus. And now that we're sort of trying to get back into the swing of things now that summer's winding down, and maybe I'll actually have like free time at my house, I don't know. We're going to try to stream a little more. Fun fact, I don't think I've actually had a free weekend at home, like here in my place, streaming and doing stuff in like 6 or 7 weeks. So I just really haven't had time between work and all the traveling I've been doing to get real content ready for TSSZ Plus. But hopefully we're on the way to changing that. We can't eat Twitch streams, says Crush14. You gotta believe. Anything's possible if you believe. Print out a screenshot of a Twitch stream, munch on it, get your fiber in. I don't know, do what you gotta do, man and or lady. That's how you do it. You gotta be... You never know. I know we have a lot of regular viewers that I definitely know and have interacted with a lot, but you gotta just be like, sir and or madam, gotta cover all your bases, because off the top of my head, maybe I forget. I'm very forgetful, you gotta understand. You can do tricks off of rails. I guess so. I think when you automatically might do a trick when you dismount, but it's so underutilized in Sonic Advance 1, it almost doesn't matter. Alright, as usual, keep an eye on Twitter for the latest updates on our streaming schedule, and follow the Google Calendar integrated with your own stuff if you haven't already. I think there's a link to it down below. And on our Twitter, we posted a link recently as well. That's going to do it for tonight. This is TSSZ Plus and the first episode of TSSZ Plays Sonic Advance. I'm Lou. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you back here real soon. Have a good night, everybody.